As we hurtle right towards the Oscars, there is a Best Picture nominee that I feel needs a little bit more recognition as we are talking through all of these films. It was notably tricky to access in the States until a couple weeks ago, and now it is gradually rolling out more and more. So hopefully more people are going to be seeing it. But that movie is I'm Still Here. I'm Still Here is the Brazilian entry for Best International Feature. It was nominated for Best International Feature, and it also picked up a Best Actress nomination for its lead, Fernanda Torres, and a Best Picture nomination. Going into the season, a lot of people didn't really have this entering the Best Picture conversation, and I think it's so cool that it did it. This movie has a lot of passion behind it. Brazil is just rallying around this movie, and it's really cool to see. It holds a lot of historical significance for the country of Brazil, but it also manages to be very topical and very prescient for now, regardless of what country you're in. It tells the true story of the Paiva family, and it takes place in the early 1970s during the military dictatorship in Brazil as it's reaching its height. Rubens, the patriarch of the family, is one day taken in for questioning and he does not return home. The movie then kind of follows Eunice's journey grappling with that aftermath and trying to move forward while also trying to figure out what happened to her husband. I said in my TikTok review that this movie was an exercise in restraint. It's very grounded, it's very intimate, it's very quiet, and it really relishes in the quiet moments. That restraint is spearheaded by the remarkably restrained performance by Fernanda Torres. She is giving such a masterclass. She's doing it so quietly, keeping it very small, minus a few select moments where she allows it to come forward. But she keeps so much contained just to her eyes, and you can feel every piece of emotion that Eunice is feeling. It's a remarkable performance. I won't give it away, but there is one scene in particular where Eunice is kind of looking around and you can just feel the weight of the situation she is dealing with. You can feel the grief, you can feel her anger, you can feel her fear, and you can also see her trying to navigate her new reality and reconcile how she's going to move forward with her family while also just like protecting her children. And her daughter is looking at her and kind of having this moment of realization that things are not the same, that the life that she once knew is no longer there. She has come back to a whole new world, a whole new family, and a whole new life. It's this really beautiful moment in the film where the children kind of like realize like, oh, their mother is human and she is trying her best and she is carrying a lot and she's trying to kind of build a barrier between that emotion and her children just for their sake. It's remarkable. It left me breathless. When you watch this movie, it will be no surprise why Fernanda Torres is nominated. And in my humble opinion, she's like number two to take it. I think the only thing in her way is that she isn't at more precursors. This movie is doing a lot of things. I've really had to sit with it. Before I made my initial review, and since doing my initial review on TikTok, like I've sat with it more and I'm still like thinking through things. I think this movie is really navigating memory and how we sift through the memory, specifically memories tied to people we are grieving. There's this haunted quality to it. I also think it's just politically really important. It's addressing this time in Brazil's history that feels very relevant to the now. It really showcases how like fascism is the business of all of us and how it seeps from the macro level down into the micro levels. This government has rooted its way into this family's way of life and really like usurped everything they've known. And in a very interesting way, it really shows how like it will come to affect us all eventually. So we do have to make it our business, you know? There's these beautiful parallels, like the movie opens when they're on the beach and they look across the street to their home and the busy street and they're just crossing and playing, and much later when they're on that same beach they look up at the same street and there's military tanks rolling by. It's just like a really subtle breakdown of how normalcy is chipped away at under tyranny. I just loved and appreciated this movie's focus on the family, I think focusing in on the family unit really makes all the points hit more clearly and resonate in a much more emotional way. There is like a world where we could have told this story during this time period from just like a big eagle eye perspective, but I think like making it more intimate and insular like really makes it impactful. I think Walter Salles does a great job at showcasing the beauty of the country too, which just kind of enhances like the devastation. Like this is people's homes. This is a beautiful beautiful place to live, and it is being altered on like a very dark level. On a personal note, I really appreciated that. My grandma is from Brazil, and after she came to the States, she never went back to Brazil. She didn't talk a lot about her life there, at least when I was young. I've never gotten to go to Brazil, but it was really cool to see this country showcased. This country that is very much a part of me as a person, showcased in such a beautiful way, and it just like made me feel this connection to this person I really miss deeply. So like that was just also like a nice added personal element for me. This movie has gradually been rolling out in theaters, expanding more and more by the day. If it is playing by you, I really urge you to go seek it. It is such a gem. I think it is so relevant to today, given everything that is going on in the United States politically. I think we are really seeing the beginnings of what is being showcased in the film, but it's also just like really beautiful. It's got this moving family drama at its center, and how like grief stays with us forever, how it always just kind of colors and impacts our memories going forward, but how like that love we have for those people who are and are not with us can carry us through. As Bong Joon-ho once said, once you overcome the like 1 inch barrier of subtitles, your world will open up to so many great films, and this is a great example. Like expand your mind, give a international film a chance. I highly recommend this movie. I gave it 4 stars upon initial reviewing. I'm sure it'll go up the more I watch it and digest it. As always, do all the things you're supposed to do with a YouTube video, like, comment, subscribe, follow me everywhere, and I will see you on the next one. Bye!